They sold it as a fun family project. They pitched it as a way for fans to connect with the show, a wholesome venture into entrepreneurship where you could buy a little piece of the Johnston charm. We watched them on screen, excited, packing boxes, talking about designs, and making it seem like a true labor of love. But when you peel back the layers of Shop TLC Johnstons, the picture looks a lot different than the wholesome image presented on TLC. For months, fans have been asking questions. Why do the prices seem so high? Where are these products actually coming from? And is this really a family business? Or is it just another example of reality stars leveraging their fame for a quick, low-effort payout? Today, we are digging into the shady reality behind the storefront. We are looking at the theories, the pricing, and the business model that has many longtime viewers feeling like they aren't being treated as fans, but as funding. If you enjoy deep dives into the reality of reality TV and want to support the channel, please take a second right now to hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us keep uncovering the truth behind your favorite shows. Let's go back to the beginning. When the Johnstons first announced they were launching an online store, the narrative was perfect. It fit right into the show's themes. Trent and Amber have always preached the value of hard work to their kids. We've seen them push Jonah to get his life together. We've seen them encourage Liz with her nursing, and Anna with her education. So, an online store seemed like the next logical step. It was framed as a teaching moment, a way to teach the kids about inventory, customer service, and the mechanics of running a small business. On the show, the launch was portrayed with the typical chaotic but lovable energy we expect. We saw them discussing logos, we saw the living room filled with boxes. It felt tangible. It felt real. For the audience, it was an invitation. You weren't just buying a t-shirt or a bracelet. You were buying into the family's success story. You were supporting the kids. But as soon as the website went live, the cracks started to show for the more observant fans. The first red flag was the merchandise itself. When you think of a family business, especially one involving a large family known for their creativity and DIY projects, you expect a certain level of personalization. You expect items that feel unique to them. Maybe custom artwork, maybe handmade crafts, or at least high-quality apparel with unique branding. Instead, what appeared on the site was a collection of items that felt generic. Keychains, simple jewelry, basic accessories, items that didn't necessarily scream Johnston family, aside from a logo slapped onto the packaging or the website header. This brings us to the biggest point of contention and the theory that has been circulating in forums and comment sections since day one, the dropshipping allegations. For those who don't know, dropshipping is a business model where the seller doesn't actually keep the products in stock. When you buy something from their store, the order is sent to a third-party manufacturer, usually overseas, who ships it directly to you. The seller never touches the product. They are essentially a middleman who marks up the price. Now, dropshipping isn't illegal. It is a very common business model. But there is a massive difference between a transparent dropshipping business and one that presents itself as a hands-on family operation. The issue here isn't necessarily the method of fulfillment, but the transparency. Viewers watched scenes of the family packing orders. We saw the physical boxes. But looking at the inventory online, many internet sleuths started noticing similarities between the Johnstons' exclusive merchandise and items available on massive wholesale marketplaces like AliExpress or Temu. We are talking about items that look nearly identical. A bracelet selling on the family site for $15 or $20 looks suspiciously like a bracelet you can buy in bulk for pennies on the dollar. When you compare the images side by side, the questions become unavoidable. Is the exclusive design just a mass-produced item from a factory halfway across the world? If that is the case, then what are fans actually paying for? In a standard retail transaction, you pay for the product. In celebrity merchandising, you are paying a fame tax. You are willing to pay $20 for a $5 item because you love the person selling it. But there is a line where that markup goes from a support the creator bonus to what feels like price gouging. When fans realized they could potentially find the same items for a fraction of the cost elsewhere, the illusion of the hard-working family business began to crumble. This feeds into the broader criticism of the show's recent seasons. Many fans feel that Little Johnstons has shifted from a documentary-style look at a unique family into a vehicle for product placement and business promotion. The store is just the most visible symptom of this. Every time the store is mentioned on the show, it functions as a commercial. But unlike a commercial where you know you're being sold to, this is woven into the plot. The drama of, will they get the orders out on time, distracts from the question of, is the product worth the money? It exploits the emotional connection the audience has with the family. You want them to succeed, so you overlook the fact that the business model might be built on low-effort reselling. Let's talk about the pricing structure specifically, because this is where the cash grab accusations really gain weight. In the world of e-commerce, margins are everything. If they are indeed sourcing cheap goods and marking them up by 3, 4, or 500%, they are banking entirely on your loyalty. They are banking on the fact that a grandmother watching the show in Ohio isn't going to reverse image a keychain on a Chinese wholesale site. She's just going to click buy because she loves Trent and Amber. That dynamic feels predatory to a lot of critics. It changes the relationship from entertainer and audience to salesperson and mark. Furthermore, a true family business implies legacy and craft. Think about the Roloffs and their pumpkin farm. That is a physical location, requiring physical labor, agriculture, and tourism management. Whether you like them or not, that is a tangible business. The Johnstons' online store, by comparison, feels ephemeral. It feels like it exists solely to monetize the current peak of their fame. If the show were canceled tomorrow, would this store exist? Likely not. It doesn't stand on its own merits as a retailer. It stands on the shoulders of the TV show. This suggests that the primary motivation isn't entrepreneurship or teaching the kids a lesson in business management, but rather maximizing revenue while the cameras are still rolling. The visual evidence of the products contributes to this skepticism. We see simple, often flimsy-looking materials. High-quality merchandise usually comes with detailed descriptions about materials, sourcing, and manufacturing. When you look at sites that are essentially fronts for cheap resale, those details are often missing or vague. You get generic descriptors. Metal alloy instead of sterling silver. Cotton blend instead of 100% organic cotton. These are the hallmarks of fast fashion and drop-shipped goods. By positioning these items as premium family merchandise, they are setting their fans up for disappointment. And this is where the narrative takes a darker turn. It's not just about selling cheap stuff. It's about the silence that follows. When you run a business based on your personal brand, your reputation is your currency. If you sell a bad product, you tarnish your name. But in the reality TV bubble, there is often a disconnect. The stars are protected by the network, by the editing, and by the sheer volume of casual viewers who don't read online reviews. They can afford to burn a few hundred superfans who buy a keychain and hate it, because there are millions of other viewers who haven't bought anything yet. It becomes a numbers game. We have to ask ourselves, why would they take this route? Trent and Amber are smart people. They know the internet exists. They know people investigate these things. The most likely answer is simply ease and speed. Setting up a legitimate manufacturing line, designing custom molds for products, and sourcing high-quality materials takes time and a lot of upfront capital. It's risky. Dropshipping or buying cheap wholesale is low risk. You don't have to fill a warehouse with inventory that might not sell. You just put up a website and wait for the orders. It's the path of least resistance. But for a family that prides itself on doing things the hard way, on overcoming obstacles and working harder than the average person, taking the easy, shady route with their business feels like a betrayal of their core values. This contradiction is what angers the fan base the most. It's hypocrisy. You can't lecture your children on the value of hard work and earning your keep on national television, and then turn around and run a business that relies on shortcuts and inflated markups. It sends a mixed message. It says that hard work is for the cameras, but in the real world, you do whatever creates the biggest profit margin. Let's get specific and look at the numbers, because this is where the theory stops being abstract and starts hurting your wallet. When we started digging into the inventory, we didn't just look at the pictures, we looked at the market. Take, for example, the jewelry items often featured on the site. We found a simple beaded bracelet listed on the Johnstons store for a price point that hovered around $20 plus shipping. It was marketed as a chic, minimalist accessory curated by the girls. But a quick reverse image search on major wholesale platforms brought up a bracelet that was virtually indistinguishable. The cost on the wholesale site? Less than 90 cents per unit if you bought in bulk. Even if you factor in shipping and packaging, we are looking at a markup that defies standard retail logic. Standard retail markup is usually double the wholesale cost. This is a markup of nearly 2,000%. This happens over and over again. T-shirts with simple screen-printed slogans that look like they could be printed on demand for a few dollars are being sold at premium boutique prices. Home decor items that you could likely find in the discount bin at a dollar store are given a fancy description and a heavy price tag. This is the smoking gun for many critics. It suggests that there is no creation happening here. There is no design team sketching out unique Johnston family visions. There is likely just a catalog of pre-made, generic goods that get a digital stamp of approval and a massive price hike. You aren't paying for the product's quality. You are paying for the privilege of saying you bought it from them. It is a merchandising strategy that relies entirely on the ignorance of the consumer. They are betting that you won't check. They are betting that your emotional attachment to the show is stronger than your financial common sense. But the problems don't stop at the checkout page. If the dropshipping theory holds water, it explains the next major wave of backlash that has been brewing in the deep corners of the internet: the customer service black hole. This is where the family business facade completely falls apart. If this were truly a business run by the kids to learn responsibility, you would expect personal touches. Maybe a handwritten thank you note, or at least responsive email support. Instead, we have uncovered a trail but persistent complaints from fans who claim to have been left in the dark. We have seen screenshots and read stories circulating in private groups and forums that paint a very different picture than the happy packing scenes we see on TLC. There are rumors of fans ordering items that simply never arrive. They wait weeks, then months. When they try to reach out to the customer support email listed on the site, they claim they are met with silence. No sorry for the delay, no we are working on it, just a digital ghost town. Other reports allege that when items do arrive, they are often damaged or of such poor quality that they break within days. One story that keeps popping up involves a piece of jewelry turning a customer's skin green after one wear, a classic sign of cheap copper-based metal plated with a thin layer of fake silver, commonly found in bargain bin bulk orders. Why does this happen? The theory is simple. If they are dropshipping, they have no control over shipping times or quality control. If the factory in China is delayed, the Johnstons can't fix it. They might not even know about it until the angry emails start rolling in. And because the business is likely a side hustle designed to run on autopilot, there is no dedicated customer service team. It's likely just an inbox that gets ignored because the family is too busy filming the next season or going on vacation. This is the ultimate betrayal for a fan. You give them your money, expecting a connection, and you get treated worse than you would by a faceless corporation. This connects back to the motive. Why set it up this way? Why risk the reputation? The answer, unfortunately, points to greed. A low-effort, high-margin store is a cash cow. It generates revenue while they sleep. It requires zero physical labor from them if it is fully automated. It transforms their fan base into a passive income stream. It suggests that they view their audience not as a community to be nurtured, but as a resource to be mined. Every click, every purchase, every view is just fuel for the lifestyle we see on TV. The new cars, the home renovations, the trips. Fans are starting to realize that they are the ones paying for it, often receiving nothing of value in return. The narrative that this is for the kids' education feels more and more like a shield. If people criticize the business, the parents can claim, "Oh, the kids are just learning, give them a break." It uses the children as a buffer against legitimate consumer criticism. It's a brilliant but manipulative tactic. You can't get mad at a teenager trying their best, right? But if that teenager is just the face of a machine designed to rip you off, then yes, you absolutely have the right to be angry. So, where does this leave us? It leaves us with a stark warning. The Johnston family business, as presented on 7 Little Johnstons, appears to be a mirage. It is a carefully constructed set piece, just like the lighting and the camera angles on the show. It is designed to look like a wholesome, homegrown success story, but the evidence points to a hollow shell filled with overpriced, mass-produced trinkets. They have leveraged their fame to build a storefront that lacks the one thing a family business is supposed to have: heart. Before you click Add to Cart, before you pull out your credit card thinking you are supporting Trent, Amber, and the kids, take a step back. Look at what you are actually buying. Do a quick search. Read the experiences of other fans who have been burned. You work hard for your money, likely harder than it took to set up this online store. Don't let your loyalty to a reality TV show blind you to the reality of a bad deal. You are not getting a piece of the family. You are just becoming the latest mark in a lucrative, low-effort scheme. We love the drama, we love the show, but we have to draw the line when it comes to exploiting fans. The Johnstons have built an empire on being relatable, but there is nothing relatable about ripping people off. If they want to run a real business, they need to put in the real work. Until then, Shop TLC Johnstons is one shop you should probably scroll right past. What do you think? Have you bought anything from the store? Did you get it, or are you still waiting? Let us know your story in the comments below. We want to hear the truth that the cameras aren't showing. And if you enjoyed this deep dive and want us to expose more reality TV secrets, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe right now. We'll see you in the next video.